interest in, I'll start off with my journey. So I didn't wake up one day and say, I'm gonna be a caterer. So I was younger. I lived out in the country. I was raised by my grandmother, so it was only so many things to do out in the country. So one of the things that she kept me doing was in the kitchen. She taught me how to cook. She taught me how to do a lot of things around the house. So that was the grandmother who raised my mother's mother, that was my dad's mom. My mother's mother was a caterer. She was a big caterer in the area. I grew up being a server, catering with her. My background was in nursing. I went to college. I started off college for nursing. So I didn't start off college for entrepreneurship. So while I was in the nursing field, I worked for hospice for 5 years. And then while doing hospice, I started off small. I started off selling dinners out of my grandmom's house. So I started off, I was doing dinners, I was selling dinners to the public, and then I was still working at hospice. And so then somebody asked me, could I cater their event? So I started off with a baby shower. I started off really, really little. It was maybe about 40 people. And then I said I really like this. So I kept working with my grandma. I kept working in hospice at the time. And at the time while I was working in hospice, the Lord kept telling me, hey, catering is where you need to be at. Because that's what I really, really I started loving to do it. So while I was in hospice, I kept saying every year my business kept growing and growing and growing. So from the baby shower, I got a lot of referrals from the baby shower. Then after the baby shower, I did an anniversary party. Then after the anniversary party, I started doing private events, private catering events. So I kept getting a lot of referrals and my business kept growing and growing and growing. I was still working at hospice and the Lord kept speaking to me, hey, you need to stop nursing and do what I called you to do the catering. So I kept going in nursing, kept going in nursing, kept going in hospice. I kept working and working and working, still catering, stressed out because I was working, getting off from working, prepping for my catering. So I was stressed out about it. Then I had never been written up at my job before, ever. Never been written up. This one particular day, me and my boss got in an argument. Boom, got fired. After I got fired, smack dab in the middle of COVID. After I got fired, so they fought me on my unemployment. And I still catering though. So I wasn't nervous about it because I still kept going, still kept catering. But the Lord kept saying, I got you, I got you, I got you. And I'm a big God person. So I know everything that I have done has been in order when it came to God. So they was fighting me on my unemployment, but I went out and found a realtor and I kept searching and searching and searching for a venue. I didn't have the money. All I had was the faith. I didn't have the money to do anything at the time because it was smack dab in the middle of COVID. And I was like using my money that I had saved up to pay my bills, but I still kept searching for the building. Then in January, I think it was January, I signed up for a restaurant grant in the Dorchester County area. I ended up getting approved for a $10,000 grant in the Dorchester County area. So I kept looking for a building and searching for a building. I didn't find a building. I just started buying catering equipment with the $10,000. I brought a laptop. I brought all my catering equipment. I brought everything that I needed to start the catering business because I knew I was going to get a building eventually. So at the time I was going to church in Cambridge, my pastor let me get licensed at the church. Um, I was able to use the church kitchen as a licensing to still keep catering. So March rolled around. I hadn't got my unemployment. It was 4 months from when I was fired from hospice and I hadn't got my unemployment. All of a sudden, I got approved. I won the unemployment case. I got $27,000. I went in Salisbury. I found a building. The deposit for the building was $13,000. I was able to get my venue, to build my venue up. And then with the rest of the money, I started renovating inside the building. So for 7 years, I've been a full-time entrepreneur since I got fired from hospice. And for 3 years, I've been a venue owner. So my story has been a big one. So my company is set growing. I started off with maybe 3 employees, my family, which is servers. Now I'm up to I maybe have 10 or 11 servers. We've been as far as North Carolina. I'm South Carolina for a wedding. I'm starting to get bookings across the bridge. I locked in a contract last year for a private airport. We had major contracts. I'm open now 2 days a week. And I'm located in Salisbury and Seagull Square. If you know where Coons Jewelers is, I'm right across from Coons Jewelers. We do venue rental. I have a venue that holds 75 people, and I am now 30 years old. And I started out entrepreneur 29 years old. I have no education in catering. I really have no certification. So everything that I have learned, I have been self-taught. And the journey, I just kept going, and I am licensed and insured. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so, you say you started out and your family helped you. Um, when you first started out, were they, paid positions and how difficult was it working with your family?
So with family, it's so I started out, my mom helped me a lot. I did all my cooking, but if it was something I was unsure of, my mom helped me. That was a good, well, because my grandma raised me, me and my mom were more like sisters and friends. So that was a good journey. But some family I've had to fire. It's a respect thing. Like, sometimes they because it's you running a business, and I'm the youngest in my family. So your siblings, they might, I've had to fire some people. So it's a respect thing. It's just a boundary thing. But everything has been, thank God, it's been a paid position. I've been able, because the first dinner I sold out of my grandmother's home, I made like $1,300. So everything's been paid. Yeah, been paid. Yes, ma'am.
So I also make clips on campus. What would you recommend, like a price point with regarding the policy?
What you cooking? What's your menu? Like, give me a basic menu.
Sometimes we make like things that you can't get in the cab, like butter chicken, jerk chicken, or like an Alfredo of some type. What would you think?
Is this a dream? Is this what you want to do always?
For dietetic needs.
Okay.
So I do need to know how to cook.
I'm going to say I would start off for college, maybe $15 for a college campus. But the higher you go up in product, maybe like sometimes you decide to do some jerk lamb chops or something. Like I would go like 17, $18 starting off, even with college, because, if you want to make a career out of it, you're going to have to believe in your own prices first. So but calculate what you're spending versus what you're charging, and then you want to know what to charge. But I would say $15. That would be a good start off point. But keep going higher as you get more popular. Yeah. Believe in yourself. If you got to buy your trays, then you have to buy your food. You got to count that cost. Any more questions? Yes, ma'am.
Are you thinking about a second venue?
Eventually, to be honest, um, I am I need a bigger menu. So now I'm praying on a bigger menu. I really want to be owner of my own. So eventually I just want to be a venue owner and not cater anymore. Catering is excellent money. It's a lot of work. I don't mind it though because it's something I love. So what would take the average person maybe 2 days to do, I'll bust it down quick. But eventually I just want to be a venue owner. Yeah, so I want a venue out and on a barn style venue. So I'm working on that. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
On the days that you are not, anybody out there?
So my space is rent space. You can rent it for meetings, you can rent it for, baby showers, party. I'm in there on Wednesdays and sometimes on Sundays, but then I'm catering Saturdays, I'm in there prepping, but no, nobody. I'm home catching up on my invoices, anything that I need to do, so nobody there. Yeah, entrepreneurship. You can work as much as big. The bigger your dreams are, you can work as much as you want. So at first, though, I had to boom, boom, boom. I had to constantly stay um catering. I couldn't turn down any jobs. I had to constantly. So when I first started, I started at a low price point until I worked myself up. So it's a constant. You're gonna work as much as you want to be successful. So I still don't turn down too much. If I get more than three in a day, I'll turn it down. But if you want more money, you're gonna work more. If you don't, you're gonna work less. But it's definitely a build your own. Just business cards and I hand out business cards, but word of mouth, people think the internet is the biggest thing, but I'm telling you, word of mouth is going to get you further than any business card, any internet. Because I have had people that came from first passed my name out when they went back home. So I'm gonna say word of mouth and business cards and business cards. Most people are gonna come up to you and ask you, "Can I have your card?" They're gonna ask you. Okay.
Sorry. So when you do the meals and cook, does the person who buy it from you buy some food for you?
No. We're a full service business. We purchase the food, we cook it, we come and we. Yeah.
So like, do you like make your menu off like seasons or like set?
So I have a set catering menu, but I go outside of that scope. So some people don't want heavy food. They might want heavy or they might want a reunion food. So the menu, I base I price you based on your menu. Some people want roasting, people want seafood. So you know how people start off with their cater menus with a certain price point? I don't do that. I'm gonna go market value every when you ask me because food fluctuates. So if you start off with a cater menu that's $15 per plate, no, food constantly elevates. Yes, ma'am.
Build yourself out wanting to put yourself in it more and put yourself in other times.
Plenty of times. When I felt myself, because I'm a prepare, I prepare for the seasons. Like if I know I'm gonna enter a slow season, I say I'm a big financial person. So I save money, I prepare myself. But in them times, I take a serious break. I might sit down for a whole month and say, I'm not taking anything for this month. I need a breather. I need to get myself together. And in them times, for real, honestly, I fast and pray because if I don't take the time to pray or clear my mind, I would quit. I would have gave up a long time ago. So I take my grace, I get in God's face, and I be like, I know this what you called me to do, but right now I need some help because I don't want to do it. You get burnt out. It's a burnout. Uh-huh.
So when you do take your break, how do you make things
So I basically, because people call me, I'm a caterer, I'll say, I'm not available this date. So they might think I'm going on vacation or something. I just say I'm unavailable to take your catering event on that date, but please check with me at a later date. Yeah. I give them the most professional answers because I don't want to say, hey, I can't take a date. No, right now, I might be going on vacation. We on a downtime, we on a break. We need a break. So that's how I do it. Uh-huh. I get you.
How do you stay in touch with your past?
You know what? I don't. My past clients constantly book me. So they'll say, hey, I'm having a family reunion, or hey, one major thing I cater a lot for the School of Pharmacy here. So they will call me in advance and book me. So I've been blessed that my clients, I don't have to stay in contact with them. They keep up with me. Yep.
Just like to say, I personally so and how her, I'm one of those people and contact her, but she's very professional and what she does, she puts the love in her food and it gives us trust because every time it gets better and better.
I
And
appreciate
so
that.
everything that it does, it never let me tell. It's like I said, word of mouth, like I constantly putting her out. I mean, from day one, had a goal when she had a dream, said it. I'm gonna be full time in what I do, and now to see her here, it's a blessing.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks. Any more questions? Mhm.
How do you retire?
So I do a savings. I have a Roth, and you got to put away. When you're an entrepreneur, I think that's what people forget to get your business in order and put your money away and do your saving that you need to do for retirement. So I'm pretty sure I'm praying that I'm a millionaire by the time I'm ready to retire. But I'm set. I put certain things in motion to put money to the side for retirement.
As an entrepreneur, you can't do like you retire at 60 and then you're like the government pays you or anything. It's like
If you put your money in,
so it's like if you do like a Roth IRA or a 401k or something, that's
you can get it out. You put your money in. But that's the thing about entrepreneurship. You got to prepare for the future. So you got to sit down. I have an accountant that taught me a lot of stuff, to sit down and prepare myself, because when you're younger, it's just like, oh, I'm making all this money, but you're not thinking for the future. Then when I started getting older, I started thinking for, not that old, thank God. But I started thinking for the future. Like I got to put some money up for, because time is flying. I'll be 53 now. Any more questions? Definitely.
Okay, so, what's the deal with customers that, like, they try to get you to sell your product cheaper, or they ask you a bunch of questions and like try to downplay.
In the beginning, I used to stoop to people level and be like, okay, well, maybe I can do it for this price. Now, when you have built yourself up and you know your worth, you've been through the years and you know your worth. Now I just, maybe I'm not the caterer for you. And I talk to them in a professional way, but I keep it on a professional move, but I don't feel bad anymore about saying no, or, you're out of budget or you're out of range, or just maybe I'm not the caterer for you.
Yeah, hey, I'm lost for that answer. That's amazingly good.
Yeah. It took years.
Yeah. That's a good start now. I said, promise you, or somehow I feel bad about saying like, it's not thinking, but I've been trying to like tell them whatever they want to hear, but they keep coming back, or not make them mad or whatever. But and then what about customers ask, where did you buy that? Or they ask McDonald's. How much did you get today? Where did you buy it? Like that.
Yeah, I hope you're gonna get confident in yourself enough to know that I can tell you where I get my product at, but we different people. My hands is made from my hands. My anointing is different. What I do is different. So you'll get confident enough to say, "Hey, I brought this from here, but it's never gonna taste like yours." Yeah, it'll be you'll have a confidence. It's not a prideful confidence, but you'll have a confidence and know I can still tell you, and I'm still gonna do what I do.
So how you met then? I been
Hmm.
like, and I give them different ingredients, recipes, and then they come back and say, mine didn't taste like yours. I'm gonna hit that.
It's your hands. It's what you was created to do. Yeah. And I can't tell people, they be like, what you do or what you put in this. I don't measure. I was like my grandmother growing up. I'm not measuring, putting in. I'm going, by taste. Cause some people say, hey, you need to do a cookbook. That's not my calling, because I'm not a measurer. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a measurer. Uh-huh.
Back off of that. So you do a lot of the cooking now. How with these large scale things, how do you keep with that consistency and ensure that it's your hands and your quality, but if someone else has to do it as well, that
Honestly, I haven't got to the point where I trust anybody with my cooking. Now, I'm gonna let you serve, but I'm not gonna trust you with my cooking yet. So I think with me it's a trust thing, and I've been praying on it, because eventually, if I want to get bigger, I'm gonna have to trust somebody to do my cooking. So I do my cooking, and I have trained my servers to set it up and serve, but I do all of my cooking myself. Yeah, it's my hands. Still, it's my hands. Yep. Yes, it is my hands. My mom might come in and fry chicken or something, but it's definitely my hands doing your cook. Because I feel like people pay for my hands right now. So I cook and let other people serve.
It's like, I gave people my recipe.
Because it's your hands. It's what you was, it's your thing. So, like I was telling her, she gonna get confident. Hey, I got this from here, but it's not gonna taste like mine.
The biggest event, and what was it like? Like your first biggest
Um, I'm gonna say the biggest event that I catered was for the funeral home, Reverend Watson. It was 300 people. Um, I knew the measurements. I knew what to do. It was still a little bit hectic because the building size. Um, but it wasn't that bad. It was just getting a service to that amount of people was huge. But if you put me in the kitchen, a big industrial kitchen, I'm gonna roll with it. Yeah.
So I was a server for this catering business across the bridge, and we did serving for about 400. It was like a big, big party, like family bash. And it was super duper hectic because we were short staffed with like the serving and everything. How would you maneuver all?
I don't leave my alone. So if they are serving, I am serving. So what I know, because I'm the speed of two people versus them, I'm gonna jump in there. So if you got a hectic thing, I'm telling everybody, hey, let's take a breath. We're gonna get through it. I'm about to jump on either side that I need to jump on, and I'm gonna help you. So most of the time, if you have good boss, they gonna talk you through it. They gonna like calm down. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna get through it. Gonna get through because things do get hectic. People get impatient. It gets. You just have to. I practice keeping my cool a lot, meditating, because you have to. People get crazy when it comes to people. I'm telling you. Yes, yes. And then some people, it irritates some of my servers that people point like, let me get this, let me get that. And they want to react like, hey, don't do that. I'm like, hey, take a calm approach. Ma'am, can you please not do that? But they are a little snappy, so they ain't got to my level yet. It's hard though. It's hard. When I say people get crazy over food, it gets hectic. Any more questions?
So your space in Salisbury, do you prepare all the food inside there and transport it
Okay.
there at all your
Mhm.
kind of speak on that for those that may be interested in starting their own restaurant or catering, like those type of firms?
So first of all, I'll tell you, I got licensed in my church kitchen because the churches always have a licensed kitchen. So if you want to get licensed for that and your church has a licensed kitchen, I would start there. So I got licensed there, and then when I moved over to Salisbury, I transferred my license, but my building had to get licensed. So I had to have they have a whole list of things. You have to have a mop sink, you have to have this in place, that in place. So then I had my catering license, then I had to get my building license with the health department. Salisbury was kind of hard. Hardest county I ever been in. Ooh, why come? Cause ooh, um, then it took me about man, I gave up. I did because I got so frustrated with the health department, and I sat down for maybe I had that building, and I sat down for maybe 3 months. Um, then I fought again. So you have to get your catering license and your building license, and then you can basically run. But if you want to start off catering, you can find a licensed kitchen and somebody let you use our kitchen to cater before you have the building. You can start off in the kitchen because, like I said, I started off catering in my church. My church was fortunate enough to let me use their kitchen, so I didn't have the building always. I had a church. So you basically only need two licenses: your catering license and your building license. But if you get your catering license, you can run in a licensed kitchen, and you will obtain them through the health department.
What you offering people the first.
Um, right now, not in my building, but I would gladly walk somebody through the process and the steps. And I know other people who have licensed kitchens who they are willing to let you get licensed through. My landlord is kind. That's why I want my own building so I can push other entrepreneurs out there. I'll be glad to teach anybody and walk you through the process. My landlord is a little tricky with that. Yeah. That's the best way to describe. Yeah, because I have people who have called me to get, and I would love to help them. It's a conflict of interest to my landlord, not to me. So when I get my own building, yeah, I would love to push people out there. So I can just be a venue owner, and then I can show other caterers how to get licensed. 'Cause that's what I want to do eventually. Any more questions? Mhm.
Okay, so you said you do catering and you have an event space.
Mhm.
Do you do like, decorations and that type of thing, or do you contract that out? If so, how do you find good people to, um, give different duties or jobs to in that big event?
So I want to tap into decorating because eventually, but I'm so busy when it comes to catering, I haven't had time to really tap into that side. So I have a lot of friends because I've been catering and go around to different things. I have a lot of friends that are vendors. So I just when you rent the building, you just rent the building. You hire your own decorator. The building comes with the tables and chairs, but you hire your own decorator. You do it. So most of the time, I recommend different people. They don't even have to be my friends, but I'm gonna recommend them. Mhm.
How did you build your branding? Like, how did you figure out what you
Um, I came from underneath my grandmother's wings. So when she had a stroke, she had a stroke and she couldn't cater anymore. She had a huge clientele. She was pushing them to me. She was like, I know you can do it. I trained you well. I'm going to trust my clients to come over to you. So I got out from there. But remember, I said I started selling platters right out my grandma's house. So I was known a little bit for cooking at the time. Salisbury was foreign to me. I'm from Eastern Connecticut. So really, when I got here, I really didn't know anybody. So I have built the brand off of word of mouth.
Not after hire.
I am I'm a person who gonna help my family first. If I know they struggling, I'm gonna help them first. Mom had a background in the kitchen. She wanted a side job. And then my niece, who is still coming up in high school, she's a server. I have some outside help. Basically, I don't discriminate against younger help, but your older help is consistent. They're gonna constantly come to work where our generation really, don't want to work. So I'm gonna fill you out. I have a lot of discernment. I'm gonna fill you out. I'm gonna test you out on the serving line to see if you can handle it. Like I said, it can get hectic. I'm gonna test you out to see if you can handle it. But I'll give anybody a chance, a first chance. I don't wanna say, oh, I'm not gonna hire you, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna sit down and talk to you and figure out where your head is at. And then I'm gonna observe you in the public and figure out if I want to keep you. Mhm.
what's the slow season for?
When I first started out, my slow season was winter. But winter then turned into the fastest season. So I'm grateful I'm not experiencing a slow season. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm not experiencing, but when I first started out, it definitely was winter. So in the summertime, I prepared, but now I'm not. It's it's always fast. It's always fast. Yeah, and then don't get discouraged too. Some months you might not have no bookings. Like I'm gonna tell you a story. So in January, I take January off. Try to anyway. I didn't have any bookings for February. Now February is here. I'm booked every weekend and some weeks, some days during the week. So you can't take it personal if you slow one time. Because one event you might make $800 from. The next event you might make 5,000. Everything balances out. Everything balances out. So any more questions? Mhm.
Okay, so I haven't heard anything about the truck, so has everything been like,
Uh-uh. No. Um, Really, honestly, when I started out with my building, I had no idea building rent is high, like in the high thousands. So in the beginning, it was a real struggle for me because I didn't know anybody in Salisbury. So you know what I mean? But I had other clientele. So like all of my money versus where I was used to having my money, all of my money had to go into my building. Like I said, the health department lady gave me a really hard time. I had to put in a $3,000 hand sink when I had one. It was hard. So I struggled in the beginning where I had to pour all my money into my building. So some days I wasn't even eating out. I was working to pay bills. But then you get to a point where I started being grateful that I had enough to just, pay my bills and get by. But then it's a struggle season. But if you get through that, it's gonna be a blessed season. So now, because I trusted God in the hard times, now I'm having good times.
this like that, okay.
That's how I got through. I know people don't like to, you know, talk about God on camp. That's how I got through.
Okay.
And I'm telling anybody, that's how I made it. And that's how I'm making it. And that's how I'm gonna continue to make it. Any more questions? Well, you guys have made it comfortable for me. And if you have dreams of going into keep going, keep pursuing, keep pushing. You can make it's gonna get hectic at times, but I'm telling you the end result is rewarding. And you can always reach me if you have any questions. I got a couple business cards, but you can follow my social media and I'll be glad to help you with whatever you need help with. Thank you.